your Twitch streaming den, I've got a feeling, is a hair's breadth away from being vaguely Wallace and Gromit-like in its setup.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Hella cool.
It's the wrong trousers, Coleman.
Gromit.
Better than no trousers, Mr. November.
Dickhead Gromit. These are flares. What am I meant to do in these, Gromit? These are clearly the wrong trousers, you prick.
Wow.
Episode.
You cannot resist the dicks.
BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed ahoy hoy. Welcome on and all to episode 650 of BRB UK.
Ooh,
I'm Dan, I'm one of your hosts.
16.
I'm here this week. Welcome back to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Had to add a little bit. Don't like that. Seems to be happening with increasing frequency, which is always disappointing. But I'm joined, just to restore balance to the farce, by Tim. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I said in the pre-show, let's go with okay.
Yes.
Let's keep
Good.
up the pretense that everything is fine.
And Coleman, how are you?
Hi. I'm all right.
Good. We're all in cracking form and loving being a grown person.
Rip roaring and ready to go.
It is. Today in this week's episode of Dan's Middle Age, I discovered that my garage roof is also a swimming pool.
Oh.
Fun.
It's not meant to be like that,
non-intentional
apparently. I thought it
swimming.
was a cool new
It's not
feature,
meant-
and then
No,
then
not
apparently
meant
not.
to do that, Dan.
That's not fun. Don't like it.
No.
Don't like it. No.
No.
And yes. Why? Just why? Why do I have no money? Oh wait, yes, it's an old house. That's why I have no money.
Ah.
Damn it. Don't like it. But on the bright side, Tim, on the bright side, talking of gadget purchases, because I know you do like gadgets of a televisual variety,
Yeah.
I finally made the jump to OLED for my TV.
Oh.
What?
Oh, I've been missing out. It turns out. Pretty sweet.
They are
Yeah.
fun.
Pretty sweet. Still yet to hook up my PS5 to it, but it's pretty sweet. Watching the Netflixes and the videos. It's pretty nice. I like
Be nice when you get your PS5 set up and go back to a game you were
Yes.
previously playing in non-OLED.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Management has advised that the PS5 doesn't fit in with the aesthetic of the room, however.
No,
Oh.
no. So that's why you have to introduce Mrs. Gibbo to the brand new air purifier you've purchased, the white and black one.
There's also a Blu-ray player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Or just
It
blindfold
purifies
her.
in
It's fine.
4K is what it does. High dust removal is HDR, I do believe, and that's what is so good about said air purifier. 4K HDR. 4,000 killer high dust removals, whatever that is.
There's a PSSR joke somewhere. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to work it out.
I do like talking about... That's the
I do
toilet
like the
extension.
pisser.
The pisser. To the pisser we go. Anyway, this is only tangentially related to video games. We actually ought to speak about the video games.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
Mm.
chaps,
Yeah.
we've all had
Chaps.
some time to play some games, and I surprisingly managed to play some games, but Coleman looks like he's got quite a few to get through. So we're going to
Mhm,
start with Coleman this week, because he'd been playing the fresh tracks. Coleman,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're now down with the kids. Congratulations. How fresh are your tracks?
Well, yeah. When you say it like that, it sounds like I spent a week DJing. But no, this is
Yeah.
this is. New
I'm just going by the
skiing
backwards
rhythm
cap as well.
game. I do wear that sometimes when I
Hello,
haven't shaved
fellow kids.
my head. But yes, we got a fair few weeks. We got a fair few games to get on this week, so we'll hurry it up now. Fresh Tracks was a game that was kindly sent over to me. It's a very interesting blend of it's an action rhythm roguelike type
Is it
title.
what? Say
all
what now?
done-
Okay.
Exactly. There's a bingo card there somewhere, but rhythm's not usually in that mix, so I thought it'd be an interesting one to talk about. And it's done in the kind of setting of it's a very Nordic story about all these elden gods and tales of the past, and in particular, one traveler, a skier who has got lost in these Nordic worlds and then is having their adventures narrated by various different gods. And then you are presented with like a few different rhythm games, 3 different tracks that you can switch on using your D-pad, although some of the controls are changeable in menu. You switch in between left, right, and center, and then you will have a sword that you can swing left, right, up, down, or diagonally, depending on where it requires you to defeat enemies or obstacles. And that's all controlled with the right stick. You can lean using the triggers left and right, and you can jump pressing up on the D-pad or the left stick if you change it to that, or if you do it twice, double jump. That is about it for the controls, although there are items along the way that you can pick up, different weapons and what have you, that will change the gameplay along the way. But the basic kind of the outline of the game is progress through different levels to the tune and do all your actions in time with the beat of said tune. So in this case, what will happen is you'll be presented with the 3 tracks, and then it will pop up with different levels with different songs and different objectives and different perks for doing each level. Each of those will have a difficulty ranking on there from easy, medium, and hard. I believe there are like expert modes that appear later on as well. And then you line up your skiing to do with one of those difficulty levels, and then your track starts, the narration begins, and then you start with the gameplay. Do enough of those, you hit a boss level. I think if you go through easy, then it's 3 or 4 tracks to get to the boss level. On hard, I think it was 2 tracks I found. Then you go straight to the boss from there. And then the boss levels are these insanely ridiculous, like you go from these kind of whimsical, chill, EDM type style music along the way, and then you get to the boss, is like, now it's time for metal, and there's a dragon.
Excellent.
It's awesome.
Metal.
Yes, and each time, so when you defeat one of these bosses, you will find that they're completely voice acted, and then after defeating them, they become like an optional companion for you to take along with you and replace your current narrator, and then they will narrate the game for you. So it adds some changes to some of the original levels if you're playing through them again, because you will find there's a bit of repetition. It is a rhythm game, and that's a good way of kind of breaking it up. And then when you get to the boss levels for the boss that you've previously defeated, it brings in a different boss level for that boss. Now you've beaten.
Okay.
So it is a very interesting mix. It is quite hard, I found.
Yeah.
Where the rogue-like elements come in is that not only is this a rhythm game, but like I say, you're going through different levels picked at random by difficulty, and then doing a boss battle, and then at the start of each level, you pick up a perk of some kind, and at the end of the boss level, you'll get a perk of some kind. And then, if you die, you lose all those perks. And you can also pick up a currency along the way and buy new perks. And then, you can lose those perks along the way. But there are items that you can get, including the skis that you pick up. The more you play of the game, the more skis you unlock and can buy. They have different perks available to them as well. So they always stay. You don't lose those. And the items you also don't lose. So that's where the light element comes in.
I have a question.
Yes, Dan.
Why are you on skis? Why skis?
Because you're a skier.
Yeah. But why? But why? Why are you a skier?
If it wasn't on skis, you wouldn't be a skier, Dan. It would be a
true. But this is a circular argument, Tim. I've never seen a Norse god or a Norse deity on skis.
No, I believe the idea is that you're either a tourist or a traveler of some kind. You're on skis, you go off the beaten path, and then you end up...
The beaten path suit we did, they're very nice.
Yeah, and you end up in this kind of
Tim appreciated that.
Of Norse gods, which is pretty cool. So that's the idea behind it. I've lost into my mouse again, so you're going to hear clicking now. Sorry.
Hey!
That's okay. I have questions as well.
Yes.
About the game or just generally, Tim?
Well, yeah, no, general life questions. No, questions about the game. So how does the narration element work is my first question.
So usually at the start of each level, the whatever deity is following you along the way, mythics they're called, they will kind of give an intro to the level that you're in. So if you're in a sleepy little village and there are villagers watching you, it will kind of say, hey, the traveler entered this village and there were sleepy villagers watching them, and then they woke up to the sounds of the music and danced along.
Not very Viking, just going to say that. Usually if they come across a quiet village, they do certain other things.
Yeah, and then when you get to the boss level, the narrator that is traveling with you will kind of talk to the boss of that level, and they will have a back and forth along the way. But it's done in a way where they're all talking in the past tense, but they're because they're narrating what a story that's happened, but it's you in the now. It's pretty cool. I was really, really enjoying it.
And although does that then react to what you're doing in the level, or is it
not
kind
really
of the same as you're going? Yeah,
it'll be the same each time.
Right,
It's not like a reactionary type thing. But no, it's still a cool little thing, and I liked. Cool. Yeah, the minute I defeated the first boss, and he went, "Hey, can I come and join you instead?" And I'm really good at narrating stories, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, this is way more epic," because it's like a nice, it's a female voice that's speaking to you, and she's like your basic kind of a Nordic female voiceover, and then all of a sudden, it's like this booming kind of, yes, I'm the Lord of the battle, and then he's now
Brian Blessed,
that makes
basically.
it infinite. Yeah, Brian Blessed is now following you, and that's infinitely better. Dive! All that's really cool. If you're a fan of BPM, beats per minute, Rift of the Necrodancer or Crypt of the Necrodancer, Thumper or Synth Riders, then you're probably going to find something here that you like.
Beat Saber is the other one I was thinking of, obviously, because
Beat Saber's a bit different because that's kind of standing in one place and everything comes at you, whereas this you got to kind of pick the directions yourself along the way. It takes a bit of getting used to, especially when it starts getting insane.
Also, question the second that kind of leads on from that as well. This seems like it would be a good fit, and sorry to be that guy, but it seems like it would be a good fit for VR. Do you know the intentions to go down that path? Or
Tim, no.
They have not expressed any intention for VR as far as I'm aware, but if there is, I'll let you know, Tim.
Okay.
It's out on PC and PlayStation 5 right now, $24.99.
Why do you always have to bring up VR? Why?
I did apologise in advance, but, it kind of had to be.
Why? Why?
But it looks cool, and a bit different. I haven't heard anyone else talking about it as well, so
it's got down quite well. It's being very favourably reviewed, Fresh Tracks. It's currently sitting at an 82 on the Metacritics. And I think a lot of people said they're genuinely, at the moment, is anything like it. I think it's a kind of a smorgasbord, if you will, of a smorgasbord.
It's a good Scandinavian word to add into the mix.
Well, thank you. I thought I'd try. Of kind of various genres that seems to come together quite nicely. So yes, It is the sandwich plate of video games. That's what a smorgasbord is. It's a sandwich plate.
Okay.
Big up the new series of Bake Off.
Less impressive.
Is this BRB? An excellent question, Captain Badats. It is not, and we should usher Tim on.
Yeah.
Yes, and Spiky Chris said that Daniel Levy is gone. I don't think he means he's died. He's left.
No, he's left Spurs. That happened before the show kicked off. So yeah.
Yeah. I thought he meant the son of Eugene Levy, and I thought he'd passed away, and I got very confused for a minute why that was news for Tim.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway.
I'm aware.
What have you chaps been
honestly, words cannot describe how little of a monkeys I give.
I'm quite pleased, but anyway.
Yeah. What video game have you guys been playing?
Well, we haven't been playing it together, sadly, because my boiler had my hot water cylinder had other ideas. But we've both been playing a bit of Gears of War Reloaded. It's called Reloaded because they already spaffed the Ultimate Edition on the previous incarnation of it. So they're a little bit
active Reloaded.
Yes, that's what they should have done, Tim. Actively Reloaded. Good shout.
Well, that would have been a better title if the first time we had the remake, it was called Reloaded and then Active Reloaded. But we had the Ultimate Edition and then it's Reloaded, which makes it sound like a degrade rather than an upgrade.
It does, actually. It sounds like, problem is once you go Ultimate Edition, you've topped out. You've got nowhere to go. Unless it's Spiffing Edition, but that doesn't really fit with the aesthetic of Gears of War.
I know it's kind of taking a line from the fourth game, I think, but they could have called it Gears of War Ultimate Edition my tomatoes. And then that would my tomatoes edition. I would have been up for that. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Good.
good.
Okay.
Good. So this is yet another redo of the first Gears of War game. Controversially now available on PlayStation, something that you never probably thought would happen. I know. So this is
just to
basically
throw another one in the top 10 for PlayStation from Xbox.
Yeah,
With crossplay though, which is quite cool.
which is good.
Awesome.
So, but you're presumably going to pick it up on Game Pass, which I think is the way to do it. For me, this is a little bit of a kind of felt like a bit of an academic exercise of how shiny can they make old games, because you forget how old Gears of War actually is. It's getting on for 18 years. I think it was launched in 2007, wasn't it? I think Gears of War, and I think it's it really was quite a
launch of the 360.
Yeah,
Cliffy B still looked young.
Yes. It was, I think it's probably not too unfair to say it really did kind of reinvent the third person over the shooter genre. It really was unique for its time, but I think has been, done to death by its own sequels, but also by the games. But it was a nice little trip down memory lane. They've done quite a big overhaul with the graphics in terms of kind of the textures and the lighting, stuff like that. But it still, to me, Tim, it very much felt its age in terms of some of the design choices, which you're always going to get. In some ways, I suppose I'm glad they did that. But for me, this is like the most Game Pass of all Game Pass titles to me. It's something which I'll probably dip into and go, yeah, it wasn't Gears of War, it was a good time, wasn't it? But I'm not sure I'd necessarily drop the big monies on it.
Yeah,
similar. Can I just say, wasn't the Ultimate Edition 10 years ago as well? So I suppose it would look a bit dated if it's just that version polished and stuck on the Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, they've redone the lighting, and I think the textures are higher quality. It definitely looks a bit crisper, and it now runs at a solid... I played it on PC, Tim. Did you play it on Xbox?
I played it on Xbox Series S, but I also did another interesting experiment because I entirely did it via streaming to see how that held up.
Okay. How did that go?
And that was good. Like I don't know if it would look better or worse when downloaded on the S, but streaming it looked good and it played well. Like I hadn't actually tried a quite such a responsive game since I upgraded my internet, and I didn't have any problems doing it, so I was quite pleased with that.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, kind of, I'd imagine most people listening to this have played Gears of War before, but I think kind of perhaps with streaming, you can get away with it a little bit more because it is quite this sounds negative, but I don't mean it in a negative way, quite a ponderous pace of shooter. Yeah, it's quite deliberate. There's not a lot of twitch reaction times that you need to, aside from Tim's favourite, active reloading. But you can, I suppose, just get into the rhythm of that. But
I actually did that successfully while streaming. Like I got because it does the little in-game achievements where you base it on your active reload, and I did the active reload 5 times in a row before I got you did the active reload 25 times.
You're my hero, Tim.
But I'm just saying, like, streaming wise, I didn't have any problems with the shooting, didn't have any problems with the active reload. Anything that you would have thought might be a problem, like with instant reactions, I was all good with. So, like, I was quite pleased with the performance of that. And yeah, that was good. But it suffers from the same thing that a lot of remakes suffer from, when they may have made it look a lot more shiny, but it basically looks as shiny as I remember it, even though my memory of it is probably false.
Yeah, exactly that. To me, this is what it looked like in 2007.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually ought to do a side-by-side, really.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do that now.
But yeah, like, I had fun playing it. Like, as you said, I don't think I would have dropped money to replay it again. But I do think that it suffers from being a little dated in the fact that everyone got very fed up of being cover shooters. And when this came out, it felt like a breath of fresh air compared to what I had gone before it, because no one had really done cover shooters like this did, with the roadie running and going from cover to cover nice and easily. And it has been aped to death to the point where it does feel dated and not as good as innovative as it was at the time. But it was still fun to just jump in and play a little bit of. And I think I played through the first act. And yeah, like I may, as you said, I may jump in and out and just try it again here and there and drop in when I feel like playing a shooter at some point, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that does do very well on this is the lighting redo, because like the lambent, not hive, the lambent locusts really do kind of the eerie glowing kind of design choice they made for them really kind of pops this time. Whereas I think in the older Gears games, I could see where they were going, but it didn't quite have the visual impact that the current version.
Yeah, I don't think I've got to them yet because I think that's past the first act. But yeah, as you say, the lighting does look good, basically. And I think they've redone the cutscenes. I don't know if that is just slightly up-resed from what they did for the previous version, but they do look, as I said, a bit like my memory of them, but I'm sure they are more impressive than they used to be, basically.
Every now and then I go, I'm going to play through all the Gears of War games because I stopped
Don't do that
at
to yourself.
3.
Yeah.
I do find them a bit of a slog, and they're better played in co-op. But every time I get to 4 and I can't get through 4 and then I stop my mission, maybe I just play the first 3 again.
Yeah.
But they keep pushing back this mythical 6th one that's still not happened. But I feel like, and it is a fault of Game Pass, I feel the property's kind of been devalued in that sense of you do get, after a while of not having a Gears of War, a lot of people go, where's Gears of War? I love that franchise. They should make a new Gears of War. And then they bring one out. It's like,
it's
same as all the other Gears of War. Well, at least I don't have to pay £70 for it because it's on Game Pass, most likely. And all of them are. So, yeah. That's probably the only reason I keep thinking I should do a play of them all, because they're all on Game Pass.
I never finished 4, and I'm not even sure. I think I started Judgment, but I don't even remember how far through I got through that. I remember the whole court thing. But
yeah, I played a small amount of it at loading and went, I will just play the main games.
Was that the one that had a bit? Because problem is with that one, that's the one that had Baird in as the main.
Yes, he was the main character.
Yeah, I just find him just an absolute waste of carbon. I really do. He's
the comic relief.
Oh, he's not though. He's not relief. He's not comic relief. He's like comic staple gun to your temple, in my opinion. I just find him grating and annoying.
But yeah,
I got a staple gun through the bell end. There we go. That's all it is.
People don't. I know people don't like.
I know people who like that.
When we were in the, I think it was it's the second game, because it does get miserable for a while, and then Baird and Coltrane come, and it's like that is quite a nice bit of a breath of fresh air at that point.
I just find him intolerable. I know I'm sure Americans love him, but dig. God, Baird
I don't think
annoying.
they do.
Well, see, Coltrane was always the better comedy.
Yeah,
he's at least entertainingly American.
Yeah, exactly, and he kind of owns it. He's like, he knows he's meant to be over the top, but Baird is just snarky in a really disappointingly late 90s manner.
So that is Gears of War Reloaded, which is apparently better than Ultimate on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. It's available on Game Pass, but if you wish to purchase it, $39.99.
That's how I, at work, when I send out surveys now, the options are going, bad, good, great, excellent, ultimate. Now it's going to go reloaded at the top end. People are going to think I've just lost my mind.
Captain Bad Ats also confirms that they don't like Baird. So,
excellent. See, me and you, Captain Badats. Pronounce his name right, Coleman. Thank you very much.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Badats. Badats is, it's a hard Badats. That's what you got to do.
My wrong. My bad.
Yeah, it was.
My
very
turn.
Wrong.
My turn.
Yeah. Okay, your turn, Coleman. Jesus.
Speaking of games that got a bit of spit and polish from their previous incarnations.
Oh my God.
Iterations, incarnations. Yeah. Oh my God. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
I'm my own dad.
Snake!
So, yes, exactly. So where it's been since, well, I can't, it's been 21 years since Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Jesus.
Just watch Dan age in real time, like the guy at the end of that Indiana Jones film. He chose poorly.
Turns to dust.
God.
Anyway,
how is
it's
that 21 years ago?
Yeah. Oh, if you want to feel really, really old, Kojima left Konami 10 years ago, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So,
Blimey.
yeah, so it's been a weird old road for Konami since Hideo Kojima left. They seemingly kind of fell out of love of making video games.
Yep.
Doubled
Just
down on
pachinko.
pachinko. Yeah.
Yep, which is the original incarnation of Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater. Is there a 3 in there? Is it a 3 Delta or a Delta 3 or just Delta?
No, it's just Delta.
Okay.
Anyway, so yes, Konami, big company. They have a lot of stuff outside of video games that they were focusing on, and over the recent couple of years, they've been going back to video games. A lot of by outsourcing their development to other studios like Bloober Team on the Silent Hill game. This time, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It's a remake of 3. The idea being that it's the bones of the original game and then done in Unreal Engine 5 to varied results.
So melt your console and PC.
Yeah, you may have heard the controversies about the game's performance. On PC, it really had some problems. Some people, I saw one guy claiming on X that he'd put all his system settings down as absolute low as they could go for that game and could still only get around 30 frames a second. So,
wow.
Yeah, pretty bad. On PlayStation 5, they had middling kind of performances where the performance mode, there was a lot of kind of muddiness to it, and then putting on the graphics mode, it had a poor performance. And then the Pro mode, it didn't give you the option. It blended the two into one, which is the whole idea of the PS5 Pro. But because of that, it wasn't getting an amazing frame rate. Since then, we've had a patch. It does seem to be running better on PlayStation consoles. Not so sure about the PC. I am playing this on PS5. It's been doing very well for me, although I've not had like high areas where there's an insane amount of enemies or big explosions or anything. So I haven't seen any kind of performance problems.
I have a question.
Yes, Dan.
And I'm going to self-correct here. Because I erroneously said the third letter of the Greek alphabet was Delta. It's in fact Gamma. So that is me being a bad man. Why is it called Delta then? Because I can't understand if it was like the third letter of the alphabet they were going for, because it's Metal Gear Solid 3.
I'm assuming to distance itself from the original release, as they have re-released the original. So you have to put something on there. Maybe they should.
Are you telling me this is Metal Gear Solid 3 Reloaded?
Yeah.
It could be. Well, no, this is the Ultimate Edition because
Reloaded. We've yet to have Reloaded.
Time.
Okay, all right, yeah, good point. Well made. Yep.
But also, if you've played through these games, canonically this is the first game in the series, although it's the third release. It is a prequel, which means you could play this game first out of all the Metal Gear Solid games. However, there are loads of references and stuff to the other games that you'll probably want to play 1 and 2 and 3.
And pro tip. Yeah. Going from the controls of 3 straight back to the rather limited controls of Metal Gear Solid 1. Wow, that's some whiplash you're going to be experiencing.
This is interesting. Oh, go on then.
I was going to say, I have a question based on just what you were saying there. Where do the original NES games fit into the timeline?
They're in between this and Solid.
So the first, well, yes, you're right there. The first Metal Gear Solid game is... but not the Nintendo version. It was on a different system that the name escapes me right now. Thank you. The MSX version of Metal Gear Solid is the first game in that is the one before Shadow Moses.
Excuse me, Coleman.
Yes.
It is Metal Gear on the MSX, not Metal Gear Solid.
Sorry, Metal Gear. Then it's Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 2. Sorry, Metal Gear 2 isn't canonical because it wasn't part of the original creations.
It was a cash grab.
Yes, it was a pumped out sequel. It wasn't. I don't think it had much to do with Hideo behind the thing. So it's considered Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and then onwards. And then this is the prequel to all of those. Anyway, back to the game. Yes, you were talking about the controls, Dan. This does have improved controls in the form of there is a legacy mode and a modern mode. The legacy mode keeps the original controls. It keeps the fixed camera angles and everything, and then what you're watching is the modern mode, which is the third person camera and the improved controls. I have tried on both. I did the prologue 3 times because I did it once on stream and went, wow, I need some practice. I suck at this game, especially trying to play it in third person and get used to it. And did not do very well. Played it again in legacy mode and then went, yeah, but I want to do this in third person carrying on. So I'm going to do this again in third person and try to get myself used to it. And did it better that time. I'm trying to do like a no-kill mode as well at the moment, which has been interesting. Game looks great. If you are past the point of bugs now, which, like I said, on release, there were some issues with bugs. Not an issue for me so far. It is very good. It is very enjoyable. If you've never played Metal Gear Solid 3, then this is a good introduction to that game. But, playing this over the original. Although there are some changes I don't like, and they're very, very niggling. It's there's an opening to the game, the original. Yeah, well, there's an opening to both games that's kind of James Bond influence, where they do the whole actions of silhouettes and there's a big epic score and fight scenes and things while all these graphics are swirling around. And I really like the PS2 version of it. I don't like it on this version. So it's minor changes like that. Also, a lot of the faces, they're, it's a game from the PlayStation 2 era. They've obviously brought some of those actors back, tried to model them on, for scanning their current faces and trying to make them look like they would have in the original game. The kind of way they look now doesn't look how I remember them looking, but again, that's switching from three different generations of console. And honestly, I took a look back we mentioned the pachinko machines earlier. There were some things a while ago after Kojima had left Konami, and some shots of up-resed looking, amazing looking Metal Gear Solid 3 cutscenes were leaking online, and people thought there was some kind of remake in the works. It turned out there were cutscenes from a screen of a pachinko machine, a Metal Gear Solid 3 themed pachinko machine, and that started this like massive ire against Konami for mistreating the series in such a way. I think the cutscenes from the pachinko machine look a lot better, especially in the character designs.
Nice.
But it is still a fantastic looking game. And I'm really enjoying it. If you've played the original game and you're looking for a reason to go back. And also, like, I played a lot of this game originally on 21 years ago. I did as much as I could. I found all the Easter eggs, all the hidden cutscenes and stuff. The only stuff I couldn't do is because it was like a Japanese exclusive and didn't exist on the UK versions. So I'm very, very, very familiar with this game, but I haven't played it in 21 years or 20 or whenever the hell I played it. So I've forgotten a lot of how this game plays and the story and stuff. It's just little things stick in my head, like when Ocelot does that silly meow to call his troops. Things like that have stuck in my head, but a lot of this game hasn't. So that's why it's like playing a new game for me. And every now and then I go, oh yeah, that thing. So that's been pretty cool. Whereas like a lot of especially the first Metal Gear Solid, the first PlayStation Metal Gear Solid, like I could read that off the back of my hand. I know that game. Yeah. I know that very, very well.
I mean, I kind of also got the feeling this was the first time we probably got to see some of Kojima's real strangeness in it as well. How does that hold up?
2's got some strange bits.
2 does have some strange
2's
bits.
2's got Fat Man, and I love Fat Man.
True.
A fat bloke on rollerblades who makes bombs. He's brilliant. I don't know. There's kind of a pseudoscience behind the main bosses in a lot of the games, but they kind of get fantastical in this one. You've got the guy. I think he's called the End or the
the sniper dude.
Yeah, the old sniper guy who has amazing sniper skills. He has the ability to just kind of freeze in place, and like plants will grow on him and creatures will climb over him, and he cannot be swayed. He's this amazing sniper.
He's a psychotic Dr. Dolittle is what you're saying.
Yeah. However, if you pause the game and save it and then come back in a week's time, then he would have died of natural causes because he's so old.
I'd say that was still genius. That is a genius.
I think the first 3 times on the original run, I beat him correctly. Although one of those, I managed to sneak up on him and shotgun him in the face, and I was very happy with that outcome. It wasn't until like randomly I'd come back to it and reload an order save and go, oh, you can do that. He just dies. That saves a lot of hassle. And there's also something earlier in the game where you can get rid of him as well, which I like. But then there are characters. There's a dead character who lives on the other side who has a level where, sorry, I'm spoiling this game. You've never played it at all, but it is 21 years old. I do apologize. He brings you to a kind of afterlife level where every enemy you've killed, including animals that you've killed to eat, will appear in front of you and walk along.
That's a really cool sequence, actually.
It is a cool sequence. There's a character that controls bees called the Pain. There's a flamethrower dude. Like, there are a lot of fantastical guys in this.
There's a spider guy as well, isn't there?
Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah, he's all like contorts himself.
Joints
and
go the wrong way. It's not right. He's a wrong. He's a wrong in that spider chap. Spider chap.
Yeah, he has like
spider chap can do stuff a spider can.
I have a question, Mr. Coleman. Do you think
Tim.
this can only solely be enjoyed by people that have played it with nostalgia? You did say it was a good jumping in point. Like, I don't even think I completed 2, but someone else's copy of 2. So I didn't play that exhaustively. And I never played 3, and I played a bit of 4. Is this a good one to jump in on and play at some point? Or
in your case, yes. Like I say, it is a prequel, so you could play this as your first game. But I really do think you should have the knowledge of 1 and 2. And if you've played those games, then jump into this one by all means. Great game.
Cool. Oh.
I will lend you my copy once I'm done with it.
Okay.
4 is painful with all of the cutscenes, the slightly self-indulgent cutscenes you have to get.
There is, I believe,
I don't think that's going to age well.
I can't remember if it's half an hour or 40 minutes, but there's a very long cutscene in that game.
Yeah, I remember because at the time, that's when I was still working in A&E, and that cutscene started. I was like, God's sake, I'm going to go to my shift in 10 minutes. That was the only problem playing Metal Gear Solid 4, was that I couldn't really sink much time into it because I didn't know if I was about to commit to a 30-minute unskippable cutscene, which could just appear out of nowhere.
That said, I do hope that 4 appears in this remastered collection volume 2 thing, because I do want to play it again, and doing it on the PS3 is a slog, and I have all but given up on trying to improve that game through emulation, because PS3 is a bit difficult that way. But yes, Metal Gear Solid, Delta, Snake Eater, that's out on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. It's out now, and it is a full $69.99.
Worth that amount of cash money, do you think?
If the bugs is fixed, then yes.
If the bugs is fixed.
So. The bugs is fixed, then you and you're a big fan of Metal Gear Solid, I would say yes, it is worth the £70, although totally buy a physical copy and get it cheaper.
Right.
Like I did.
Right.
Last game?
Last game. I'm not going to go too in-depth on this because, Tim, you've spoken about this before, but
demo.
Hearing you...
I played the demo.
You played the demo. I mean, I'm only about an hour and a half in, but I did just want to kind of report back on it. In that game is Shinobi, Art of Vengeance, not to be confused with Metal Gear Solid. Vengeance. So
Reloaded.
This is no. This is still in its first incarnation. We've got another 23 years to go before we get Shinobi
Revengeance Reloaded.
Revengeance Reloaded. So this, much like the original Shinobis, is a 2D platformy slashy game with a little slight sprinkling of Metroid in it, but not wholeheartedly, because it's not one big world you traverse. It's lots of stages that you can then go back and unlock stuff in. You play the Shinobi, a guy called, I always forget his name.
Jeff.
Dan
the
Shinobi.
Essentially it is. No, it's Joe Musashi or something like that.
Yeah.
Where you basically grunt your way to victory. Every line of dialogue gets quite hilarious. It's like, Joe, what do you think of that? Is what he does. But at least he sticks to it. And that's an easy voice acting gig if you ever get to play Joe Musashi in Shinobi. So this is very, very kind of, it is kind of faithful to the original games, but is kind of refined it. It feels a lot fairer than I remember Shinobi being in the past. But it does have very something that looks initially like it's going to be button mashy combat. Actually has a lot of nuance and a lot of technique to it, I found, in terms of the combos you can queue up, the ways you can kind of combine that with the powers that you kind of ninjutsu powers that you unlock. It's a corking game. I mean, sometimes it makes my brain melt a bit with trying to remember all the moves. But you actually, if you do think about the moves that you're going to do and actually plan your combos, it is really rewarding. It's got a very visceral, and I mean that in a positive way, not an eye-rolly way, kind of combat feel to it. All the moves feel like they've got a nice lot of weight to them. It feels very kind of crunchy almost, a combat. You can really feel the hits that you're dishing
visceral and crunchy ticked off the list, right? Yep.
Yeah, crunchy viscera. That's what we serve up.
A rustic hack and slash.
It is a rustic hack and slash. But I really, really loved it. I mean, Shinobi was something that I didn't play a lot of back in the day. It's something I've kind of come to later on in my gaming life. But I think this is a cracking platformer, cracking action game, and one that I see that I'm going to spend quite a lot of time unlocking all the secrets that are there to be found, of which there are many. So if you like deep combat, you like fast responsive platformers, I think you could do a heck of a lot worse than picking up Shinobi. I think this might be a sleeper game of the year pick for people.
Ooh.
Really?
Also has red
That's
barrels,
high praise.
which, you know.
It does have red barrels. It does have red barrels.
I hear they're a trope in some games.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Dan, I was going to say, when I reported on the game, I basically said that I appreciate that this is a very well-made game. Really like the art style, like the combat.
Yeah.
For me, though, I was a bit worried that the platforming would get a bit more challenging than I would stomach for myself.
I mean, I don't
seen more of the game.
I don't mind it. Bearing in mind, I did slog all the way through Barnick Bay quite merrily, so that probably means my set point for what I will tolerate in a platformer is probably a bit higher than yours. I mean, it hasn't got to the stage yet where it's like pixel perfect placement.
It was the optional area where you had to go to in the first level to fight the kind of the hidden enemy type things that unlocked one of the things, and I was like, if that is a sign of where it's going later in the game, that could be a bit too much for my.
No, I think like the main path of the game, from what I've experienced so far, doesn't have that kind of real demand that kind of precision off you. I think it's only if you wanted to go and find all the secrets you would have to do that, because you have to get some quite precise timing on like your dash jumps, double jumps, wall runs and stuff like that. So
the other thing I thought was a bit lacking though was the boss fight didn't impress me very much. You only got one.
The big red angry monkey boss fight. Yeah, that's not the strongest encounter in the game, I have to say. It does get the bosses do get a bit more mechanically complex, rather than just smack him twice and then run away to a corner of the room and then wait until he does a move that you've got a window to attack him in. There are more tactics with some of the later bosses, definitely.
That's good because Tim was all like, "Hey, you're a big red angry monkey. That don't impress me much."
Yeah, he did.
That's what he said. I heard him say
do believe it was.
I could hear him from down the road.
But also, Dan, while we are talking action platformers, this very quickly, because I spoke about it in the last couple of weeks, but I have been continued to enjoy the Rogue Prince of Persia, and I think you should look at that, because it's made by the same people that made Dead Cells. So I think that will tickle your fancy, and it's on Game Pass and on PlayStation Plus. So pick it up.
So I've got no excuses, what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think you will enjoy that muchly, because I've liked that. I've put about 10, 12 hours into that so far. So yeah.
I have to say on that subject, because I think. Oh, by the way, Shinobi, I've been playing it both on big PC and on my massive Geek. It does play very nicely on my massive Geek. It is. It is a pleasure to hold and behold on your massive.
Sold, because that looks fantastic with the visuals.
Yeah, it does. And, Tim, you mentioned it, and I didn't shout it out enough. The visuals. So I think this is done by the folks who did Streets of Rage 4, I want to say.
Streets of Rage. What you call it? Streets of Rage for the new age, Dan.
Yeah, boys. So it looks fantastic. It's got a really nice kind of the styling of it is like it's like playing a beautifully illustrated manga is essentially what it is.
Yeah.
So
It is good.
thoroughly recommended. But knowing that things like, you hear him saying Rogue Prince of Persia, and this works very well on a Steam Deck. The combo of stuff on Game Pass, I love my Steam Deck, but having Game Pass on the go and being able to download the Game Pass games on the go, I'll see where it goes with the ROG Ally X. I am tempted by it, I have to admit, because
you're going to go mad and go for the X version as well, aren't you?
I am gonna.
Yeah,
£1,000, Dan. £1,000.
Yeah, but that plus Game Pass.
That roof's going to be leaking a little longer.
It is going to be. I mean, I don't need hot water. Is what I've decided. I don't need hot water.
And your missus is like, we still have a wet garage. You're like, yes, but I have a ROG Ally X. So...
Yeah, but I will be living in the wet garage if I pull that move, I think.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance is on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. It is $22.49 to $24.99.
And that is a very reasonable price for a more than reasonable game.
Good selection of games this week.
Yeah. I know, it's good, isn't it?
We should cut the news, but we should talk about one thing, just because it's big news.
Yes, please.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we all watch the State of Play?
I did indeed.
No.
I did my homework.
I didn't.
Okay, well, it was all themed around 007 First Light, which is the new James Bond game from IO Interactive. Or IOO. Yeah. So we got the similar looking trailer to the reveal trailer we saw last time, showing off the cast, the new characters, and a brief kind of glimpse at the action and the environments. Then we got a look more in detail into some of the mechanics of the game, the exploration, the driving, shooting, gadgets, like anything you could think about for James Bond.
Yeah.
It looked very, very impressive.
Sexually transmitted diseases?
There are plenty.
No, it's fine.
It's a herpes crawling out all over the place, is what you're saying.
There was
syphilis slithering over the tabletops.
We did not see any of that. But we did see a good selection of gameplay, and then they also had a section that they talked through to talk through some of the mechanics and some of the like gadgets and things that you have in the game. And I don't know about you guys, like I was looking forward to this already. I think they did a good job of presenting it in a way that made me even more excited for the balance they're going for, which is exactly the approach that I hoped they were taking. In terms of having action and kind of plugging bits of a kind of guided action game into the open world kind of good bits of Hitman. It seems to be taking the good bits of Hitman and plugging in what I'd want from a good action game that makes it feel a bit more
Uncharted.
like a James Bond. Uncharted plus Hitman equals what I want.
Hitcharted is what I think we've got.
Yeah.
Or Unman.
Unman.
Unman. James Bond 007 Unman.
When I heard we were getting like a reboot James Bond video game, I liked the idea of it. When it was IO, I was really worried because I love the idea of Hitman. I suck at Hitman.
You hate bald people.
I'm self-hating.
I run out of patience with it. I just end up fluffing it because I'm not patient enough with it, and then end up just getting shot in the face while dressed as a sailor.
I keep trying it. I went through 1, 2, and 3, and then IO were nice enough to send me World of Assassination, which is like the combination package of all of them. So I've got all the DLC and things. So I went, right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna jolly well figure out how to bloody play a Hitman game. And I sat there, and I think I got through like 10 levels, and then just went, I can't
terrible
do this
at
one
this
level. And I'm trying to do it in order. And the thing is, because they've since the reboot games for the PS4. All of those games, all those levels, every time they do a new version of Hitman, you can then import those levels forward into the newer game, which means they're then on that game's version of the engine. Any improvements or game mechanics they've thrown in are now on that level. So I've done them all on like the World of Assassination version, and I still struggle.
I must admit, I ended up getting very confused what things I'd played or could play with Hitman because there were so many different flavors of it. So
yeah, because I know I'm somewhere in Hitman 2, and I know the further those games go on, the more impressive the levels get, the more like open they are, and the bigger scope, and like that's the stuff I want to see, but I refuse to jump forward. I want to do it in order, so I will go back again.
I absolutely like. I don't think I played the early Hitmans, but I really got into, I think it was Blood Money when that came out. And that was where I think the series hit its original apex back in the day. And so I advise possibly just jumping forward to that game. Like, I don't think you will miss out on anything from the canon or anything too much.
No, I'm talking from the reboot, Tim. For Hitman 1, 2, 3 is in the PS4 versions,
is in
not PS2 era.
No, okay, fine. But that for me, like, was where I got an appreciation for the series. The playing through the remake ones, like, I think I played a lot of 1, not too much of 2, and not too much of 3. But yeah, I think I picked up the World Assassination at some point so that I could play it in VR, and haven't played enough of it. But I really like the approach they made with that game in terms of, as you said, plugging it in and having all the different bits of that game. But yeah, like, I don't know. I think it's probably harder to go back to the original games, but I think it got a bit too broad. Like, when it got on the full open world, it's harder to really kind of get into it. I think you have to go with the fact that you will have runs where you're just exploring, things will go wrong, everything will go tits up, and you're just kind of exploring the environment. And then, like, you go to the point where, okay, this is a run where I'm actually going to try and approach things properly and try and do things and try and get through the level in the way that, you know, I want to and do stuff. But, as I said, I think the approach they're taking with James Bond takes that to the next level, and it's really what I wanted to see them doing. Highly explosive red barrels as well, just to give them an extra
sweet
kudos. So, you know,
sign me up.
We also got to see, so the main Bond, that's played by Patrick Gibson, who's from Dexter Original Sin, which is handy because that show just got axed. So it's probably better he's got another paying job.
Something to fall back on.
Yes, and we got a view of the rest of the cast, including Lenny James as Greenway, who we spoke about last time we were talking about this game. Yeah, looks impressive. I'm looking forward to it, especially now I know it's not as hardcore as a Hitman game. So but it has that tone, you know, there's a lot of different ways of approaching a level and different ways of finding your way past security, for instance, or, you know, infiltration.
Yeah, also one of the other differences they talked about, though, is that you can, if you've got enough and there's a finite resource or something, it seems like you could gain and lose this at different points, but if you've got enough of the resource, you can talk your way out of trouble. Which is quite interesting, and feels a bit more James Bondy. But they also talked about him being generally more suave and having, like, they've added a few more animations and things where he'll pick stuff up by, like, kicking it up to his hands and stuff like that, and just him being a bit smoother and less robotic than Hitman was, basically.
He did do a quip in the Bond style that made me roll my eyes a little bit, but you know, it's tradition. You got to do it. Hey ho. Anyway, that is coming next year, March 27th. It's going to be on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch. DOS.
Splendid. DOS.
Switch. We will cut everything else out of the news this week because we had a lot of review games to talk about.
Yeah,
we certainly
We're going to have
did.
more next week.
Oh, good.
But before we let you go, listeners, there's some things we need to tell you about. First of which is, that's right, it's time to buy my face. You need to go to bigredbarrel.com/store, buy my face. What should you do? Buy my face. Where should you go? bigredbarrel.com/store. What should you do when you're there? Buy my face. Have you got that? bigredbarrel.com/store, buy my face.
Okay. And by that, Dan means buy merchandise. One of the pieces of merchandise has Dan's face on it because
buy my face.
He was on Games World and we make fun.
Buy my face.
You don't have to buy his face though. You can buy it,
but you should buy my face. You should
buy his face on a cushion.
Buy my face. Buy my face.
Face.
There is also other excellent bits of t-shirt and other apparel. Apparel. I don't know how you pronounce it.
With
Clothes.
other people's face.
Apparel?
Yeah, apparel. There we go. I don't know. Which has some great artwork by the folks as well. So do check those out as well. Tim.
bigredbarrel.com/store.
Tuesday is a Tuesday. What's going on this Tuesday? Tell me.
Each and every Tuesday, we do an event called Tabletop Tuesday at the Loading Bar in Stoke, Newington. Every Tuesday, we have a different feature game, and if you play that feature game that evening, you can win a copy of the game just by trying it out that very evening. This week's feature game is a little game called The Six, made by little indie developers. It's a good one to come support. It's a good little fun game. Come join us, and you can win a copy just by playing it that evening. If you want more details, check the right-hand side of bigredbarrel.com. There is a big button marked Tabletop Tuesdays. Hit that for some information. Or, well, not now. Wait until this podcast comes out.
Oh, we can go now.
On the non-live version.
We go now.
Yeah, you got a terrible, terrible view of the mental faculties of our listeners, Tim. That's very disrespectful of you.
Well, if you do it now, then it won't have. It will have last week's information, not this week's information.
Yeah, but by the time they hear this, they'll probably be sorted, Tim. Stop telling people what to do. Stop you're being very presumptuous.
Dan, we're live.
I know we are. I know. Probably most people are going to listen to it, though. Also, I just enjoy winding Tim up.
Yes, true.
Fair enough.
But also, you can also go to meetup.com, search for Tabletop Tuesdays, join the over 2,250 plus members that we have there, or just come along to the Loading Bar in Stoke Newington this here Tuesday and every Tuesday following for Tabletop Tuesday. Come join us and have some fun.
And remember, every week.
No, don't tell anyone to lick my face or pat my bum.
Every week.
Or whatever
Tim
the hell else
loves
you're going to say.
When you look longingly in his eyes and stick your right little finger up his left nostril and go, "You're my Mr. November." They love it. He loves it when you do that.
If you are responsible for someone giving me COVID, I will never forgive you.
That's
and I will
so
haunt you for the
2020,
rest
mate.
of your days.
Go, there are new infectious diseases in town now, Tim. Get with the program.
Yeah, you're so 2000 and late, Tim.
Okay.
Yeah. Tabletop Tuesday, the Loading Bar this Tuesday. Go there to play 6 and to go and touch Tim.
Come in, my love.
Yeah,
cupboard.
put that pinky up his nostril.
Talking of cupboards.
If you've enjoyed this show, then thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you are watching, be sure to check us out on bigredbarrel.com. That's the website that hosts this here podcast and many other pieces of content. Be sure to check it out and also find the links to our social medias. And also be sure to subscribe to us either on Twitch or YouTube, both at Big Red Barrel.
Smash look at you updating the things.
Yes, they finally let me update it after about 6 years of trying. We're no longer Big Red Barrel TV. We are Big Red Barrel on YouTube. So I'm quite happy about that. I'm hoping that's kicked in now. But yes, go do all the stuff and things and check us out on Discord. Usually we would do a what do we call it? I have a question, but instead I'm going to give a nice little plug to the man called Rick, who I've written down as Tick by accident on the agenda I've just noticed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nice plug for Tick.
I thought so. Nice plug for Tick. The man called Tick. He's been on the podcast many a times. He's done many a review, and he's spoken about his YouTube channel called The Game Cupboard. He's recently released a fantastic video retrospective on Lost in Random. So be sure to go check that out. We'll put a link in the show notes for you to go and click on. Sounds good? Sounds good.
I think it sounds splendid.
Excellent.
You also ought to tell people to go to Discord as well, because that's where they can do things. There's
BigRedBarrel.com/Discord.
Yes, or discord.com. Munduavwa.
Let it die, Dan. Let it die.
Yeah.
No, never. I let Tiny Earl die. He was a great recurring character and wasn't at all annoying.
That was BC. That was before Coleman.
That was before Coleman. Yeah. Right. We are going to get out of here. So thank you one and all for coming along and listening. Hopefully we'll be back in some shape or form
Come
next
in my
week.
love cupboard.
Yes, that's what you should do, because that's where Rick was living, clearly. Yes. We're going to go. But hopefully you'll stick around for next week and listen to us once more. So with that, all that's left to do is remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
I've been Metal Gear.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Metal Gear Coleman.
Oh my
Colonel.
God.
Metal Gear Coleman. eating a snake.
He's done
A
a
snake
shit
eater.
mod.
No, no, no.
Don't eat the
Mr.
yellow
November.
snakes.
What? Right, we're going to go. Thank you for tuning in, downloading us, or whatever the heck you did to get our
Squeaky
audio
for
in your
something.
ears. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bye.
Doodle bye.
Oh my God.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.
I didn't play any footage once again. Here you go.
Oh, yeah,
There's
let's have a look.
There's
Well,
a kid running around.
Okay, in an urban environment, looking for a herd to herd.
Yes.
Wet Dog Shake was also the name of my first band